Hello students, welcome back. This is Class 6th Science, chapter number 11, Light, Shadow and Reflection. In this video lecture number 8, we will be learning and discussing some of the miscellaneous topics which are related to this chapter. So let's begin. Starting with the first question. What is a wave? A wave is periodic oscillation of the medium particles which is handed over to the surrounding medium. Therefore, this periodic oscillatory disturbance travels in the medium without translational motion of the medium. It is a mode of energy transfer. This is how a simple wave is represented diagrammatically. Here, the parts of the waves are not labeled, but don't worry, we will be learning them in details later in this video. If you look here, few parts of the wave are labeled. The important one for us to know right now is the crest and the trough. Basically, a crest is the point on a wave with the maximum value of upward displacement within a cycle, whereas trough is the opposite of a crest, so the minimum or the lowest point in a cycle. Now, question number 2. What are electromagnetic waves? Electromagnetic waves are the waves of oscillating electric and magnetic fields perpendicular to each other and also perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. Here, electromagnetic waves are represented in this diagram. These waves are produced when a charged particle accelerates or oscillates. An electromagnetic wave can travel in space. All electromagnetic waves travel with speed c in space. Here, the speed of light is denoted as c, and we all are aware that it is 3 lakh km per second. Whatever we learnt about electromagnetic waves, let us correlate it with this diagram. We are aware that in electromagnetic waves, the magnetic field component as well as the electric field component are perpendicular to each other. Here we are given three axes, x-axis, y-axis and the z-axis. The wave which is drawn blue in color is representing the electric field component, whereas in red color it is the magnetic field component. Both these waves are perpendicular to each other and hence they are perpendicular to the direction of electromagnetic wave, which is propagating in z axis. Question number 3. Explain terms related to wave. In this question, we will be learning few important parts of a wave. The first one is wavelength. Wavelength can be defined as the distance between two successive crests or troughs of a wave. We are already aware that the crests are the maximum point of upward displacement within a cycle. So, the distance between two successive means the next one of the crest is termed as wavelength. The second term is amplitude. The maximum displacement from the mean point in a wave is its amplitude. You can check here that amplitude is also basically describe the depth or the maximum displacement of the wave. Here we have compared wavelength and amplitude. Wavelength is measured horizontally, whereas amplitude is measured vertically. Once again, let us compare wavelength and amplitude of a wave. Different wavelength is related to different colors, whereas different amplitudes is related to different brightness. Here, wavelength is represented by a term lambda. If you look carefully, in the first wave lambda A, and in the second wave lambda B, and in the third wave lambda C, these three different waves have different wavelength. That is the distance between two successive crests results in emitting the light of different colors. Whereas if we vary the amplitude, that is the maximum displacement from mean position, it will lead us to have different brightness of the light. If amplitude is low or less, the light will be dim. If amplitude is high, then the light will be bright. Term C is frequency. In science, the term frequency is applied to waves, including sound, electromagnetic, and matter waves. Frequency is the number of oscillations per second. Its unit is hertz. In the diagram below, we have three different types of waves. One which is drawn in red color, another in blue color, and the last one with green color. The number of frequency or the number of oscillations per second in red wave is 3, hence represented as 3 Hertz. Capital H and small z is the symbolic representation of the unit. The blue wave have 6 oscillations per second, whereas the green wave has 12 oscillations per second. Once again, check here. If the wave has a low frequency, then the pitch will be low. On similar ground, if the wave has high frequency, then it will result in high pitch. Term D is time period. A time period denoted by capital T is the time taken to complete a cycle or one wave. As the frequency of a wave increases, the time period decreases. You can check here that the time taken to complete one oscillation is termed as time period. Frequency and time period are in a reciprocal relationship that can be expressed mathematically as T equals to 1 upon F or as F equals to 1 upon T. Here, once again, the time period of one wave is 4 seconds. You can check the time taken for completing one oscillation or one cycle is 4 seconds. Term E is wave number. It is the number of waves in a unit distance. It's the reciprocal of the wavelength. That is, the total number of waves or cycle which are there in one unit distance. Let's move ahead to question number 4. What may happen to the light when it falls on a material surface? When light falls on a surface, it can be reflected, transmitted, or absorbed. Generally, a part of light is reflected and a part of it is absorbed even if it falls on a black surface or transparent medium. Number 1. When a beam of light falls on a smooth and polished surface like a plane mirror, most of the reflection is regular because the whole surface acts almost as a single plane. Such a reflection is called regular reflection. Number 2. When a parallel beam of light falls on an irregular, that is, rough surface like a wall or a piece of wood, most of the light gets reflected irregularly in all directions. Such a reflection is called irregular reflection. Question number 5. How would an object appear that absorbs all light falling on it? An object that absorbs all radiations falling on it may or may not emit radiations in sufficient intensity in the visible region. If it does not emit enough intensity of visible radiations, It would only be visible as a dark spot in an illuminated background. The object would be perfect black for our eyes. Let's move on to question number 6. How do we see objects? An object can be luminous or non-luminous. A luminous object emits electromagnetic waves in visible region of electromagnetic spectrum in sufficient intensity. A non-luminous object does not emit radiations in this region in sufficient intensity. All non-luminous objects are made visible by the light emitted by luminous objects. Remember that all objects emit electromagnetic radiations continuously due to their temperature. A beam of light from a luminous object, it may be natural or man-made, or a beam of light reflected from a non-luminous object reaches our eyes, cornea, and lens in our eyes converge that light and form an inverted image on the retina. The signals generated by the light on retina are carried to the brain, where brain processes these signals and forms an upright image. Students, this is the electromagnetic spectrum. Different waves are there on the basis of different wavelength. If we arrange them in ascending order, then the sequence starts with gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, visible light, infrared rays, radar, FM, TV, shortwave, and AM. Here, the visible light is that wavelength which are sensitive to human eye. These colors are arranged in a manner, so we call them as Vibgyor colors. Here, every alphabet denotes one color: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. You know, the visible spectrum is that portion of the electromagnetic spectrum which is visible to the human eye. Electromagnetic radiation in this range of wavelengths is called visible light or simply light. A typical human eye will respond to wavelengths from about 380 to 740 nanometers. And we are also aware that if waves have different wavelength, then they are of different colors. Hence, the pattern Vibgyor is obtained. Let us now look at some of the parts of human eyes. Human eye is the part of sensory nervous system. It is an organ that reacts to light and allows vision. Different types of cells are present in retina which allows conscious light perception and vision including color differentiation and perception of depth. You can relate to some of the visible parts of the eyes to the diagram. Once again, let's read out the important parts. Cornea, aqueous humor, ciliary muscles, lens, iris, retina, and optic nerve. Question number 7. What are shadows? How are they formed? Shadow is a dark or less illuminated patch that is formed on a screen, like a wall or floor, when the path of light is completely or partially blocked by an opaque object or at times translucent object. Shadow is simply the less illuminated area due to intervening object that is surrounded by more illuminated area. If you look carefully, there is a source of light in the form of lamp. The hand is acting as an opaque object and the tabletop is the screen. When the path of light is obstructed by an opaque object, the path is blocked and hence shadow is obtained on the screen. So we have come to the last question. Question number 8. What is light? A wave or a particle? Light can be described or modeled as an electromagnetic wave. Different kinds of physics experiments were revealing different kinds of properties of light. Sometimes light acted like a wave and sometimes light acted like a particle. The answer is that it's both. Various experiments which were conducted to know about the properties of light revealed different characteristics. In some of the experiment, light was described as a wave phenomenon, whereas in some it is a stream of photons. Finally, it is modeled that light is both. It depicts a wave nature as well as a particle nature. That's all for this video. Thank you.